Welcome everyone, this is Jacob, and I purchased this home about 2.5, 3 years ago, and I want to thank my family and friends for the experiences and confidence and upbringing with all the construction background and things I've learned to tackle this project of renovating my bathrooms after the cast iron pipes failed. Check out this intro. Ensuite before the cast iron pipes get replaced and this floor gets tore up. I'm gonna have to do this. Take out the old tack strips from the carpet, put some thin set in and tile the floor, remove all the tile from these walls. Windows have already been replaced. Oh man, let's see. So this backed up initially, haven't used it in a long time. And so that's why it's super dirty. I just hadn't done anything. This is the guest bathroom with an old shower that also backed up. This thing is just rusted and used and abused. The ceiling here comes down a little bit. The fan just sounds broken. So we have a light diffuser and a skylight up past there. But yeah, this is the before. So here are some before photos, snapping of what it looked like before. And the background story is that it's a 1964 Florida home that originally had these cast iron pipes. And I purchased the home after getting them scoped, and it took some money off the top dollar of the price, but I knew eventually they would fail. And I said once they failed, then I would start renovating this house and remodeling it, because I didn't want to lay tile and put new kitchen cabinets and do all these things when I knew I had to tear up the foundation again with the concrete to replace the cast iron into new PVC. So here I am starting on the guest bathroom. The demolition went pretty smooth, pretty easy, just ripping out the toilet and draining all those things. Took off the mirror on the wall, the vanity, so this whole space is pretty much empty. And then I decided to tackle the tub next. And this is the point of where my family started yelling at me. They said, "Where's your protection?" Such as closed-toed shoes, some gloves. I think I'm wearing gloves, and I have safety glasses on, so always remember your safety gear. I was able to score the edges of the tile and the caulking and then rip out the tile with the drywall. So this is all 60s, mid-60s original things here, and it got a little heavy on that back piece, but able to manage it. And after we decided to go after the tub here, and it's a steel tub, so I have the hearing protection, everything you need in my old Air Force uniform. So that was some of the experiences I was talking about in the beginning, is working on these planes and replacing components and wrenching with my hands. It really gained me a lot of experience with hand tools and being able to interpret on how to best tackle projects such as this. I decided to rip this soffit out to create more headspace above, and I don't know why they would even install this way, unless it was just get the exhaust fan closer to the shower and try to prevent moisture in a bathroom. But it was fun. The demo was a lot more fun than the concrete work, that's for sure. So with the drains being clogged, I had to not take a shower within my own home. The toilet still worked at this time. And the way this is set up, this is my guest bathroom. And on the other side of the large wall there is actually my master. And so it's a 6-inch wide wall, and they share that water wall in the drainage system. So here I made a huge mistake, and you can see this whole area just covered with concrete dust, and it was terrible. This is probably the worst experience of the whole project because I turned off my AC to not suck up any of the dust. And this is late summer in Florida. And so inside, I actually looked at the thermostat. It was 92 degrees, and I'm in a full coverall with the respirator, and it wasn't fun. I drank so much water, and I sweated so much that at night I was still cramping. And I don't know if you ever get cramps in your calves or legs while you're trying to sleep. It's just not a pleasant experience. So here I am just digging out, and what I did, I cut the concrete near the drain for the tub, and then I dug underneath and trenched underneath the existing concrete to see which path it traveled to. It actually goes straight from the drain to that vent stack that you see running vertically up the wall. And I was able to track that in and get that out. So the way my house is shaped is in the shape of an L, and the face of it is where my master bedroom and then the guest bedroom are on the face going towards the street. And the way this water drains, the main drain is it runs underneath my master bedroom and then goes into that wall that's split between the ensuite bathroom, which is in that door there, and the guest bathroom, which is the shared wall. And all during this whole project, you could see my pup following me and making sure I'm doing everything right. So this is inside my master, and I'm trenching up the main drain that leads outdoors. So here's the master bedroom. You can see it going outside. This is the guest bathroom, and all the concrete's busted up. And then here I am. I gotta give a shout out to my uncle for providing knee pads. What a lifesaver. Thank you, Uncle Steve. Just gathering all this rock. I put it in my truck bed, and I delivered it to the dump just to go to the landfill there. And this took a lot of time. I'd come home from work and just work on it every now and then. And during these moments, I'm in my spare bedroom, and I still have a running toilet because that main drain, that cast iron right there, is actually still connected. But I have a outdoor shower, and you can see these big totes that I purchased that is holding all of the dirt. And this is the guest bathroom, and this is the main drain for the tub. And what I had to do was trench underneath that wall and pull out all the dirt to gain access to the existing cast iron. And here it is, just being a dirty guy and trying to do my best. This is the cast iron that was pulled. You can see a crack down the seam of it. And this is what old 60s cast iron looks like that's just about to fail. Here we laid in the new PVC. And I actually got some quotes on this. So originally in my house, I got some quotes for $10,000 to $17,000 to redo the whole home about 3 years ago in PVC. And then here's an outdoor shower that I bought during this time, and I had a garden hose and a portable toilet that I utilized until I could get a new tub. And my gym also had a shower. And here's a look inside the cast iron. And then once the new PVC was laid, I had to reinforce the area for the new concrete to go. So I'm using a hammer drill and putting a 3/8 rebar in to allow that new concrete that once it's laid, it's tied into the existing surrounding concrete and it doesn't sag. And I put some packing sand in on the guest bathroom's floor to bring it up a little bit. It's a 4-inch slab, and then also reinforce it. But back to what I was talking about, during this whole process, I was just showering outdoors, and oh man, thank you, Fred, for coming over to help lay this concrete. And what I was doing is mixing 5-gallon buckets. I had two alternating. I bought a 60-pound bag of concrete, and I just stirred them and mixed them, and this good friend of mine here poured them and was floating the concrete itself. So thank you so much for that. Here I am outside. This poor drill was used and abused. I went through, I think it was about 19 or 20 60-pound bags of concrete, 4 inches thick. It was a little over 25 yards, I want to say. And here it is laid in. I'm letting it dry and cure. I put a plastic bag over it for a couple days. And this is the time I needed to think about, hey, what do I want this bathroom to look like? So this is an inspiration photo. And this is the existing water feed lines for the tub. And after work, I think I'm on second shift at this time, so I'm getting home around 11 o'clock, if not a little later, and I probably work until 2 a.m. And I needed to pull this exhaust fan down, or I think I'm taking the walls. Oh no, I'm setting the tub. Here we go. So I bought a tub and I placed it in there to mark around where I needed a support on the walls. And the existing studs actually had a little bit of water damage, especially on the baseboard. So I'm cutting out these pieces and I'm replacing it with a good 2x4. And this is where I pull out the fan, because that thing was just trashed. So I'm just thankful for all the help and support that I've had along the way. This is the shared wall of the other bathroom. So my master shower actually backs up and has the pipes there. There's the new walls and new studs installed. And then here, this tub is set. And my brother came to town. He came in to help race my car and help me work on my bathroom a little bit. And so thank you, Mark, for coming through. And we squared up these walls and shimmed out. That's what you're seeing on some of these furling strips, I believe they're called. And here we are getting those pieces together. The tub surround has a concrete backer board. And so we needed to ensure everything was measured and set before installing it. Like my grandfather always said, and it's tradition, you measure twice, cut once, and I've definitely measured 4 times before, and I've even cut wrong after that, and it's just embarrassing, and I beat myself up about it. But here is the first pieces of concrete backer board. I had purchased a laser level, which really came in handy, and I knew I needed it for the future tile. And then going to the hardware store, you see all these options. I was just out of my mind, but thankfully I had a good inspiration photo to relate to and purchase. So if you look on the side, there's a third stack up. They don't like to have a brick pattern. And then here's some more options I'm looking at. That mirror I really enjoyed, so I ordered one offline. So I set up my laser level, and this is the current state of trying to get all the walls completed. And then some of the items that I ordered, such as the mirror and the light fixture, came in, and so I rewired. The mirror actually has a defrost and a light around it, so I wired in that, and then I wired in a new fixture for the light vanity. And then I took the 2 fluorescent lights off the ceiling and I installed a recessed pod, and I finally finished all the walls, I believe, in this video, and I was just so happy with myself. So moving on with this concrete backer board, to seal the gaps in between and around everything, I used a mesh tape for thin set. Then I mixed up some thin set and applied that throughout all the gaps and crevices and corners and the shower niche there. So you'll see it just is time consuming. And finally I mixed up my thin set and mortar, and now I'm applying it. And I bought the little trowels, the corner trowel, and really learning. So this is my first time doing this type of work or any tile work, truly. and just a little bit of research and a lot of time looking at techniques. And then this is just me applying those things, live and learn, and I'm definitely learning, that's for sure. Here's a overview photo of the gaps all sealed up, and next I'm going to apply a product called Red Guard, and this is a waterproofing membrane around the shower mixing valve and spout. There's a product by Schluter with it's called a gasket that actually has a rubber gasket that extrudes past the wall, which is nice. So if you ever get any water back there, it pushes it around the shower valve and then still drains down into the tub. So that was a design or feature that I really wanted, because this is the important stuff where you can't see it, but you definitely want to make sure this is top-notch things. And so I waterproofed the whole tub surround and extruded it past the tub itself, because this is where I'm laying my tile, and you can see my laser there. I leveled the very base and started from the bottom and worked up, because that's where it's all stacked. And this is another tile end cap trim piece that I'm installing there. It's I think it's also made by Schluter. And so here I'm definitely learning how. This is my first tile job and going slow and steady. I purchased a tile cutting saw, which was really nice, and just kept progressing every night, doing a little more tile, and anything that I wasn't able to get to, I just scraped off the thin set. And that little shower niche was a challenge. So you can see my trowel marks there. I think it was a 3/8 trowel, and I wanted some visual progress, so I installed the mirror and the light, and you can see an example of how it works, and then the defrost options next to it, which obviously I didn't need to turn on right there. So here's an overview shot, and this it was time consuming, but it was a lot of fun, a lot of late nights trying to get this done. I installed the new exhaust fan above, which was helpful. And I made a huge mistake here, because I started grouting at 9 o'clock at night thinking, oh, this will be quick. And this turned into many, many hours of cleanup, and I didn't want that grout to dry on the tile. And it set a lot faster than I expected, and I was not ready for it. So I was up until 2:30 in the morning cleaning all these subway tiles just to get it done initially, before having to let it dry and it be more difficult to remove. And I stayed up until 2 a.m. to get that done, and then showed up at 6 a.m. the next day. And here's a cedar plank ceiling that I'm installing as part of the inspiration photo, if you can remember that. And this is where I'm leading off. So here's a photo of the current condition, and the shower is actually usable, so I can take nice showers still and continue pressing on with the finishing touches. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.